Bam! I am back. It's George, your loan underwriter. If you're new to my page, welcome. If you're ready to learn some credit stuff, hit the like button and subscribe because that's what you're going to get here. Why are you going to get that here? Because I am a professional and I'm here to help you guys. So if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, ring notification, all that stuff, all the jazz that everybody else tells you. Let's get into it. All right. Well, if you're new to my page, currently I'm a loan underwriter. You may be thinking to yourself, what is a loan underwriter? Loan underwriter is a person that approves, declines, and counters a loan application that you put in for a loan. I've done mostly consumer loans, so that falls under auto, mortgages, personal loans, home equity, lines of credit, RVs, motorcycle, etc. So any type of loan that you go apply for at a financial institution, I am the person, or I'm someone like me, just replace my beautifulness for another beautiful person. Yeah, and then so that's essentially what I'm doing. That's essentially what I do. Today, on today's video, I'm going to go ahead and be educating you, which is what I told you in the beginning. We're going to go ahead and do some reactions to help correct these credit gurus that are here on the internet. We're going to go ahead and if you stay towards the end of the video, I'll give you a credit tip that can go ahead and increase your credit score. So stay towards the end of the video. And then I actually found a credit scoring game. I say that just so you know what it has to do about. So essentially, the reason why I'm doing this, it's so that you can see it from the lender's point of view of, what's the whole objective when they go to give you a loan. Because again, everyone wants loans. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First section that we're going to go ahead and do is, as you can see on my screen, I'm going to educate you on some terms. We're going to start on about auto loans. Really simple to me, but not, maybe not to you. But that's why you got me. That's why you got me here. This is why you liked and subscribed, right? Right. I want to see another subscriber. Let's go, baby. But yes, that's why you have me, to be able to break this down and explain it to you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so auto terms. So this is for anybody that's looking to want to buy a vehicle, has been through the process multiple times, or maybe is thinking about wanting to get an auto loans. These are terms that normally people at dealerships, a loan officer at a bank or credit union or a financial institution like Capital One will talk to you about. So the first one is a pre-qualification or pre-approval, which is pretty much the same thing. So essentially what that is just pretty much saying that you have been approved for a auto loan. That's all it says. It doesn't go over a lot of terms, rates, because there's no vehicle attached to it. So that's essentially what a pre-qualification is. It just shows your name. It says, congratulations, you've been approved or pre-approved. My bad. But pre-approved. It won't go ahead and have any information as regarding about what your rate is, your payments, what kind of vehicle it is, etc., etc. So great thing. Got some examples for you guys, because again, I want you guys to be able to get a visual on this. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Ooh, no, definitely not this one. My bad, my bad. Give me a minute. Found it, I found it. Open up. New image and new tab. Bam, beautiful. Don't judge me. That's how I do. Alright, so this is essentially what a pre-approval would be. So essentially, like I said, it essentially just says that you're approved for a vehicle. Essentially no information, very vague until you actually get approved and come with a vehicle. So very straightforward. This is not really seen as often. Normally you'll get an email instead of a letter through the mail, or maybe the loan officer or the dealership may contact you, say, hey, you've been approved, pre-approved for this. So that's essentially what a pre-approval is. So again, if you have any questions, again, that's why the comments are for. You ask, I answer. That's how we do. That's how the game is played. So yes, let's move on to the next one. Approval. Approval is pretty much that you have been approved for the loan, and it goes ahead and goes over the amount you asked for, vehicle information, interest rate, your monthly payment, how long the term is, and what makes this different between a pre-approval and an approval is the information that I said, but then on top of that, when you get an approval, that means you already gave all the documentations that you needed in order to get approved for the loan. So that's essentially what the difference is. And again, we got examples, which is also what I told you. So here's one from PenFed Credit Union that I was able to go ahead and find. And like I said, congratulations, you've been approved. These are the terms and conditions of the loans, what kind of product it is, auto loan, the amount, APR, term, and payments. So very straightforward. Again, same thing as the pre-approval. They'll contact you or send you an email saying that you were approved. And yeah, let's move on over to the next one. All right, so we have a counteroffer. Counteroffer, I couldn't find one, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's see. Let's go back to this approved one. So it's similar to an approved one, but it will say under the lines of, that we couldn't approve you for the amount that you were asking, but we're able to do up to this certain amount. So let's see if you put in an application with PenFed, and you say, hey, I want to do 50,000, and then it would say, hey, couldn't approve you for 50,000, but we're able to approve you for 40,000. It would show just like this. It would show $40,000 with the APR and the vehicle if you have that information at least. So essentially what a counter offer would go ahead and be, they would only be able to give you a certain amount for you then to go ahead and start searching for your vehicle. Alright, so then we have a decline. I couldn't find a decline, but essentially along the lines of something like this. Oh, well, didn't really make a difference. So minimize that. Okay, so this one's for a line of credit. So essentially, I got permission to even use this. This is from a previous client, but it says essentially you weren't eligible to go ahead and get the loans for this reason. So it gives you just this information. So this one says revolving account are too high relations to income and credit score. So it's just going over that, at least for this. Didn't really ask, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Free credit advice. Alright, so essentially what happened here is just pretty much the income that this person reports versus the credit scores. The credit card balances are way too high for the underwriting guidelines of this one's Capital One. So they have a rule of certain percentages that you can't exceed, and this is showing that their credit card balances are just way too high. So essentially it'll look something similar like this, and it'll give you reasons, and then by law, by the mail, for sure you get these. And this is called this is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This is information that by law that they always have to send you. So go ahead and provide it with the credit score, and this will go into a little bit more in depth of why you weren't approved. So this one is serious delinquencies, derogatory public record, or collections filed, number of inquiries on credit reports. So this is something that you will always get through the mail if you are declined or even approved, because again, it's something by law that they need to go ahead and give you. If I am losing you guys, remember, go into the comments, ask questions. I'm always there. Look at my previous videos. I'm always answering questions. I'm here for you guys. That's why I started, or at least one of the reasons why I started, maybe just to go ahead and be able to help people understand credit and educate and show them the tricks of how to go ahead and get approved through lenders with my knowledge. So I'm for the people. I'm pro people. Let's go. So the last one we're going to go ahead and do today, and I'm going to break these up because I don't want to overwhelm you. It's going to go ahead and be annual percentage rate. So essentially, I'll read this one. The real cost that you pay to borrow. stated as a yearly percentage of the loan amount. For an example, if you pay $500 in closing costs to obtain a loan, the APR will be higher than the interest rate since you are effectively borrowing $9,500 but will owe $10,000. The Truth in Lending Act requires the lenders to disclose the APR to you. So essentially, whenever you apply at the dealership, which I think is the most common that people see versus buying houses very often. So there's a document called the Truth in Lending Act that's supposed to go over the amount, the whole financial picture for you. So it'll show like your payments, how much interest you'll pay, how much is the APR, how much interest you'll pay. I think I said that. Terms, which is great. I have an example. Woo! So if you've ever gone to the dealership, which most people go more often than buying a house, you'll see a documentation if you finance through the dealership or maybe through your financial institution. You'll also see this. See, so go ahead and go over the annual percentage rate, which on this one is showing 23.99%. And if you transfer that and convert that to finance charges, that equals out to $10,984 and some change. So that's essentially what it's stating about the APR, is that on the Truth in Lending Disclosure Act, this is information that you always need to see so you can make a financial education if you want to go through with the loan. This documentation is very, very extremely important for you to make sure and that, hey, this is how much you're going to end up paying in interest from the 23.99% on this example. So yeah, so go ahead and take a screenshot, save it, do what you need to do, but it's here for you. Yeah, so that's essentially what it's referring to when you talk about the APR, just how much you're going to end up paying. So that's pretty much it for the education for the education portion of this. We're going to go ahead and move on to the reaction part. So we're going to listen to a couple of credit gurus and see if we can help them out a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's do this. All right. All right.
Alright, so y'all, welcome back. We have a new video.
Oh, wait a minute. Me first. My video. I'm going to full screen this. Okay, great. What's the... Ooh, it's way too high. Let's just do 1080. I don't need to do that well. Alright, so let's see. Do this and get approved for any car you want. You hear this. Any car you want. So that means if you want a 2000 Honda Civic, he's going to show you how to get approved for that. If you want a Lamborghini, like he has right here, he'll show you how to get approved for that. If you want a classic car, he's going to show you how to get approved for that. So remember, I'm a loan underwriter. This is what I do for a living. So let's see what he got.
Alright, so y'all, welcome back. We have a new video because most of these places think like, well, you are at now, how come you never establish car credit? How come you never don't really want to take on the risk unless about your car history? And, I got good credit, I can get anything I want. You know what I mean? That's not accurate. Most car dealers care about your car history. They want to know if you ever had a car before. You can walk in there right now with a credit score of 850, but if you don't have no car history, then they don't really want to take on the risk unless you give them at least half down of whatever.
Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're starting off with this type of information. Okay. All right. So let's address what he said before. He says that dealerships, we can go to the dealership and finance through the dealership. All they care about is credit history. That is a big that's wrong. They care about your overall credit, but the most important piece of your credit is your car history. So Kevin Bandlo, my bad if I got it wrong, my bad. So you may want to like read it. You want to rephrase this and just say, out of everything of your credit, your your car history is the most important. We still kill, we still care about your credit history, which is just one factor when it comes to approving someone for a loan. Um, and then, so that is very incorrect. We car history is important, but we care about the overall credit as an underwriter because when the dealership submits your application, it sends it on over to the underwriter for them to approve it, look over their guidelines, make sure they're in their guidelines, if they can approve it, and everything else works out. The other thing is that then they want you to have 50%. That is not in all cases, which again, he should clear that out. Not in most cases. Normally, if you have really bad credit, or if it's been like over a little bit over a year that you charged off or let a car get repossessed, I can see that definitely happening. But not in most cases. If you don't have any credit history, they will require some of a down payment. It just varies from lender to lenders. I've seen it sometimes, like you said, it's 50%, sometimes 20, sometimes 10. Whatever the dealership says. Because the thing is the reason why there's a couple reasons of why they want it. But if we're looking at it from a lender's perspective, the reason why they would when they ask you for a down payment is because that will look really good to the lenders, knowing that you have some skin in the game. The more the better. I would say at least if you have no credit or bad credit, at least do like a minimum of a 20% down payment of the car's value. So essentially, don't finance in the taxes and all that. So essentially, because essentially, if a car's valued at 10,000, but you're financing only, and you're financing 12,000 because the additional 2,000 for taxes and dealer fees and all that. 20% of 10,000 is 2,000. So that means you would want to come up with 4,000 if you were going to do 20% down, because again, you're covering the car and then you're paying for the taxes out of pocket. So that's exactly what it means. And then as pertained for if you don't have any car history, there are lenders that will nowadays, it didn't never used to be like this before, but if you don't have any credit or have bad credit, there are now lenders that will finance you if you don't have any bad credit or no credit. Just know it's going to be a little bit more of a higher interest rate. So I would suggest to start with the credit unions. If they don't work, then go to those people if you want to finance a vehicle. So yeah, so this whole thing about 50% down and that they only care about your car history, in summary, it is incorrect. Why? Because I do this for a living, so I understand what it takes to approve somebody. Let's go ahead and continue.
If they're gonna ask you, well, are you willing to put 50% down of what the car costs?
Mm-hmm.
Then they probably consider you.
That's a lie.
Bank statements with a decent address, because at the end of the day,
see, that's how you know he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because it's more than just a decent address and bank statement that it takes to approve somebody for an auto loan. The credit is a portion of it. Do you have a debt to income? Is it within guidelines? Is the payment to income ratio in guidelines? When you go to apply for a dealership, there's a certain amount of your income that the lender puts a threshold that they can't cross. It varies from lender to lender. Some lenders are 10, other ones are 15, the other ones are 20%. It just varies. So yeah, so credit, income, how long you've been with your job, that's very important. How much money you're putting down. So it's like there's a lot that it goes when it goes to underwriting, when it goes to seeing if you're going to give somebody a loan for a car. So I don't know about this guy. He's a little fishy.
Hey, you got to understand, when you are trying to get a loan and when you are trying to ask the banks for some money, that is a risk. And like I say, the banks want to deal with you, but they want to make sure, like, if you had a car in the past, if you pay your car note on time, establish car credit? How come you never establish credit? That's why I establish car credit. How come you, and they want to know why at the age you are at now, how come you never establish car credit? How come you never?
What is this guy talking about? I've never in my life have ever asked, why is this 40-year-old person barely applying for a car? We don't care about that when it comes to when it comes to applying for some people. Again, like I said, it's their credit, their income, their down payment, how stable they are at their job. When it comes to the credit, he stated a little bit before I fast forwarded, but how many cars have you had in the past? How have you paid those cars in the past? What's your highest payment you ever had for a car? Have you ever had any cars charged off or repossessed? And then outside of your car history, okay, what other loans do you have? How long have you been paying them? Are your past due? Do you have a lot? Or have you been using your credit cards? Do you have a high utilization of using your credit cards? There's so much that goes into approving somebody for a car, and this is how you know he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like, everything that he's saying is very surface level. So like, if there was like 3 levels to it, it would be like people like him that just tell you what other people have told you him, and then I would say you have people like me that actually is in there approving, declining, and countering for those loans. So it's like you can tell the difference between the information that I have for you and then the information that he's telling you, because so far he hasn't really told you really much about how to get you approved for a loan, because you have to know underwriting guidelines. You have to know what a job of an underwriter is in order to tell people you can get approved for any car you want. So, and we're only like a minute and a half into this video. Goddamn.
Never establish credit. That's why I talk about why is credit so important, because most of these places think like, well, you know, if you smart, you should establish car credit, you should establish credit card credit, you should establish some type of loan credit. These are the 3
All right, we're gonna move a little forward. We're gonna move a little forward.
You want to have doesn't do too much unless it's on a lot, and a car costs 10K, 15K, 20K. You can start off with something cheap, a whole lot of money. So let's say if a car is on a lot and a car costs 10K, 15K, 20K, you can start off with something cheap. Just to get the car credit history going, right? So, you know, you can do that for about 6 months and then keep upgrading. Then get into like a 30K loan, then get into a 50K loan, then a 100K loan, and keep working your way up. The thing that you want.
I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you guys caught it. This guy is delusional. This guy has no idea what he is talking about. So he says, okay, so if you're trying to get into let's say if your goal is to get into a Lamborghini car, and you've never had an expensive vehicle like a Lamborghini that's around $300,000 and up, he's saying that, okay, start off with a $10,000 car loan, and then every 6 months, essentially the whole foundation of every 6 months, keep increasing your loan. That's not how it works when it comes to approving someone for a higher auto loan. We need to see more than 6 months in order to continue increasing. A little secret for you guys: when we're looking at your credit report, we see 2 years of history. And 2 years of history is always the best. That's what we always want to see, but it's not always what we see. So if we were gonna want to take somebody from 10,000 to 30,000, for me personally, I would at least want to be able to, if I'm only going to use 1 year of car history, I want to see a decent down payment on the car, because again, doing 6 months, that's only 6 months of payments as opposed to 12 months, which is a year. So it just mind boggles me that this guy is giving He's giving this advice, and he has no idea. Do not listen to this. If you are want to get to a Lamborghini, what you need to do is, okay, so if you're gonna start off with $10,000 using his example, what you want to do is at least pay for that vehicle a year to year and a half before you start upgrading. The longer history you have, the better with the car, because that's very important. Because the whole point of when you go to a loan, to go apply for a loan, and the underwriter looks at it, is, are you going to be able to pay us back? Well, not me, because I ain't getting the money. I wish I was, but I wasn't. But not the point. But yes, that's the whole point. Are you going to be able to repay us back if we give you money? That's the majority of what we care about as underwriters. So if we see that you at least made 12 payments, or even 18 payments? I think it's a year and a half. I don't know, but you get it. So if we've seen either 12 and it's just 6 months, yeah, 18 payments, that's a year and a half, and you're at least putting like 10% down. I personally, based off policies, in my judgment, I'm able to be like, okay, this person, he's not going to pay it. So far, he's paid at least a year. He's at least put in like 5 to 10% of the vehicle. So far, his credit, everything else is looking good. Like, why not? Why not? Like, why not increase them based off everything that I'm seeing and based off my judgments? And then from there, if we're going to go from a $30,000 vehicle to a $40,000 vehicle, okay, all right. Hey, he's been paying good. Like, each time he's had a loan and he's increased it so far, he's been paying it on time. Really good down payment. Income very stable at his job. Overall credit really great. So it's like, don't listen to this advice. Oh my god. He says something else that's crazy. I gotta move on. This guy's wild.
What I'm gonna do is keep increasing the car credit limit history. That's your main goal.
He doesn't understand.
$100,000 car, $150,000 car, a $200,000 car, and once you start doing that, that's this car. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole finesse and the whole goal, especially if you got a business, if you got, you know what I mean? If you establish that thing. So if you know, okay, cool, I need primaries, I need train lines, and I need car credit on my loan. You got the down payment, you put the down payment down. Now, 6-7 months, then you get that, oh yeah, we're just gonna check your credit score and this and that. They don't care about your credit.
Alright, we've said a lot. Like, literally, we went through half of this video and I was able to go ahead and just I was able to give you more in-depth knowledge than what he can. So essentially in his video, because I watched it before, which is the reason why I want to continue, but the thing is, look, he did it, the best information he gave you was about establishing credit, at least getting some credit and just starting to build on that. And that he also told you that car history, god, it's so hard to even want to defend this guy. I think to say his information is very surface level, doesn't really get beyond what it takes to approve somebody for any car. And again, you have someone that's telling you what it takes to approve somebody for a car, because I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So it's like, I understand, and I've had a credit limit up to $100,000. I know what it takes to approve somebody for $100,000 car, at least. So it's, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's jump into another video. How many views? I want to see how many views he got. 380? We gotta get me to 380. Like, subscribe, and share. If you want me to get 380 and help other people with credit, I can't do it without you guys. You gotta help me out. So go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification, and share. This guy got 380. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. Alright, let's move on to the video.
So it's kind of like what I said when I came on last time. It depends, because that's old.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So this guy is called Jose the Credit Dude. He's a credit dude, man. He's one of the guys. Like it. Dude, help move my credit. Say less. All right, let's see. Breakfast Club.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club. Morning, everybody. It's DJ. Good. They've been hitting me and not knowing why their credit is going down, and at one of our seminars.
So you slid in his DMs.
So I slid in his DMs.
Okay.
And he came to the seminar. Now, when he came to the seminar, how much money did you have in the bank? Because you talk about it all the time.
So, my name is Jose Rodriguez. So
Okay.
all Puerto Ricans have the same name, right? Everybody has Jose Rodriguez. They always name their son after the dad.
Right.
It's the worst thing you could ever do because obviously the dad has bad credit. A lot of that credit jumps on the credit report, and that's what happened. And it wasn't it. It was that fix it when I was in the Marines.
Know much about my credit, and I would pay these people outrageous prices to fix my credit. They would create trade lines. They would do all these things, and it never stayed. My credit would still shoot back down, and the reason I liked Jose was because when I called him up, he only was charging what he took off the credit. So if he didn't take anything off your credit and didn't fix your credit, you didn't have to pay him. And I was like, okay, this is good, because that way I can actually trust somebody.
But how long does that take?
So the crazy thing is it could take as long as it takes to remove it. And a lot of people don't like that answer because, now you have people that, they do like false police reports. They just lie and say it wasn't theirs.
I've heard of that.
The only way something can really get removed is if it's inaccurate or unverifiable. So it could take 2 months.
Yep.
It could take 6 months. It could take a year, or it could not be deleted at all.
Right.
And that's the reason why we started charging people only if stuff comes off their credit, because you see all these people charging thousands of dollars, horror stories. And with us, unfortunately, there are going to be times where I can't remove anything. But we're still going to educate you. We're still going to give you the guidance, help you settle it. That's
good.
ultimately what you want to do is
Come on.
actually when they run your credit, right?
Yeah, I
When
missed something.
Points. Now, does your question I have, because I always pay attention to my credit. So one of my credit scores on Equifax is 803, but on another one is 780, and it dropped 17 points. Now, does your credit score drop just because somebody did a credit check?
could.
So that's temporary, right? Because my lease is up on my car, so I know they did a credit check when I went there and I'm like, why would my score just drop all of a sudden like that?
So what's crazy is actually when they run your credit, right? When a car dealerships run your credit, any auto loan or mortgage inquiry technically doesn't even affect your credit score for the first 30 days. So a lot of the times when it drops like that, it's probably something else. Because even though on the algorithm, on the credit scoring app, it might drop, but somebody checking your credit for a car or a mortgage, the great thing is the first 30 days, it doesn't even get calculated towards your score.
Well, I'm confused. How come only one of them dropped?
Okay, so let's tackle that. This should have been, I want to say rephrased, that wasn't what you needed to say. So when you apply for a personal loan, auto loan, or mortgage, the credit algorithm knows if you're applying too many times, they know that you're shopping for credit. So what happens is within that 30 days, since it knows that you're shopping for, rates to compare different financial institutions, it's going to count all of them as one. So what I mean is, so if you're applying for, let's say if you apply for an auto loan, a mortgage, and a credit card, that's not going to work. That's going to be three separate inquiries. But let's say if you apply for a house, another house to another mortgage, another house, that's going to count as one. So that's how he was supposed to explain it. So definitely helping you out, my Puerto Rican cat Jose. I was like, Dominicans, Puerto Rican Dominicans, we're really close to each other, but yeah, so just to clear up people, what he's saying is just pretty much if you're applying for auto loans through multiple lenders, it's only going to count as one within that 30-day period. Let's continue.
Well, because that car dealership probably only checked one of your credit reports.
But I just did this weekend.
Yeah.
So that fast. I'm
Yep.
because let me tell y'all something. I check my credit like at least every couple of days. I don't
That's
know
good.
why, but I did have somebody steal my information before and charge some stuff. Actually, it happened twice. So that's why I ended up getting experience. I could lock my account.
Yep.
So that if anybody tries to open anything, I have to unlock it and they contact me.
I actually pay Jose to monitor my.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but look how he didn't address the issue of hers. So he said, he said, yeah, watch. I'm gonna bring it back.
You know, let me tell y'all something. You know, I check my credit like at least.
Like that, it's probably something else. Because even though on the algorithm on the credit scoring app it might drop, but somebody checking your credit for a car or a mortgage, the great thing is the first 30 days it doesn't even get calculated towards your score.
Well, I'm confused. How come only one of them dropped?
Well, because that car dealership probably only checked one of your credit reports.
But I just did this weekend.
Yeah.
So that fast.
Yeah, you see, he not saying nothing.
I'm because you know, let me tell y'all something. You know, I check.
You see, so this is where so if you're good at credit repair, I'm a credit consultation. I'm not a credit repair, so pretty much if you need some consultation, contact me. I got you. FYI, I used to be a certified credit counselor, but I stopped doing that because they said I can't talk about the law if I'm going to be having my certification through them. So I was just like, alright. So I had it for a couple of years and never renewed it. So, but anyway, yeah. So essentially, what he should have asked her is, okay, did you apply for so many? Actually, before I get into that, the thing is that with what she's saying, she's missing to add more. She's missing context, which is what will get him to understand. As you can tell, like he said, he didn't ask her any leading questions, which it's making me question him a little bit. Because if that's the case, because she asked the question as the credit expert, you're supposed to be able to address her issues and not leave her like, oh okay, like. So I would ask her, okay, were you shopping for a car? Did this affect any of your other credits? Have you been applying for a lot of places? Because if you apply a lot, even if it's just like 5, let's say if you have like 20 inquiries because you're trying to get cars, yes, that will hurt your credit in the long term or in the short term because of all those inquiries. So it's like asked her, he just didn't ask enough questions, be able to like say, okay, this is what it can potentially be. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either too many inquiries from maybe the dealership. She's not telling us maybe the whole story for us to be able to piece it. I would ask her after the show, be like, hey, let me look at your credit report so I can see what the issue is. So you can pinpoint it. So yeah, like, I feel like he dropped the ball there. So, but let's continue though.
My credit like at least every couple of days. I don't know why, but I did have somebody steal my information before and charge some stuff. Actually, it happened twice, so that's why I ended up getting experience. I could lock my account,
Yep.
so that if anybody tries to open anything, I have to unlock it and they contact me.
Well, I actually pay Jose to monitor my credit, me and my wife's credit, my family credit, because I've had the same things. People have stolen my credit, so they actually monitor it, make sure. Because I just want to make sure my credit is good. Unemployment, they made $18,000 last year under.
For years, I think it's just that people.
And from the government. So how has that been affecting business?
So the thing is that stuff's been going on for years. I think it's just that people now are being more. You just check your account, your IRS, you didn't report it. So it's like.
First, a lot of people deferred their mortgages, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's like those people, you don't have to submit anything. Need credit repair. Mm-hmm. In a sense, they're just looking for the quick way out. Because back when they were doing the PPP loans, anybody can get them. You don't have to submit anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it was just a quick fix for their business wise. So
question. So now let's get to the thick of things. So now, first, a lot of people deferred their mortgages, right? Mm-hmm. How does that affect your credit? Does it affect your credit in a negative way if you defer your mortgage?
No, it actually doesn't. I actually did it myself. Mm-hmm. And I actually experienced that when I bought when I just sold and bought a new house just recently. It actually was I've never seen it before. Wow. Where you could defer your mortgage and it go in forbearance in a sense, and they report it as if you're making the payments. The thing is obviously you have to find out what agreement was made, because they were putting the whatever you didn't pay on the back end of the loan, mm-hmm. or they're making you pay it up front. But the great thing is they wouldn't report any late payments to the credit bureau. So that if you didn't take advantage of that and you were in a financial situation, then once you were late, you couldn't say like, oh, well, I want a forbearance. Right. You couldn't like reverse it. Got you. So if you didn't get it and then you were late, you're screwed.
Now, what about somebody who...
Wow, let's address a lot. There's a lot to unpack. Okay, so forbearances. don't listen to that. You when you get a forbearance, essentially, because I've been underwriting mortgages. When it comes to forbearance, if you're getting another mortgage, it was mandatory that if you were in a forbearance, you needed to pay that those months that you missed it. Because to us, even though it's not reporting late, us as underwriters, because again, we continue educating ourselves. We're not dumb. Like, this is what we do, baby. Like, we approve people. So it's going to report it on your credit report that you are in a forbearance, which to us indicates red flag, straight red flag. Okay, this person's in a financial issue if he's asking for forbearance, because the only reason you ask for forbearance is if you can't pay. And it's even worse when you apply for an auto loan. We're like, why is this person trying to apply for a loan when he can't even pay for his mortgage? Which again, when we are approving people, we're trying to see, can they pay us back? It is very important. So then why would he give them a loan? Like, this is like, I've seen this throughout the years. This is even before COVID that that forbearance was a thing. Like, normally when you're in a forbearance, it is a bad thing to us as underwriters. So that, and then yeah, wow. I can't believe this.
Who is late on a bill or something, let's say they forgot, or let's just say they had a bad month, and it was, one time or maybe twice. How do you get something like that off of your credit?
Yep. So I always say the first thing you want to do is really call them. If you know you're going to be late, just call them. It's kind of like if you know you're going to be late somewhere. What do? You don't just show up late.
No, Envy shows up late.
I just show up late.
Show up late.
But go ahead.
You call them. You call the creditor. You call them. Listen, you're in a relationship with them. Just say, hey, listen, I'm going to be late, or I'm late, or whatever the case is. And a lot of the times, even during right now, they're still being a little lenient. But if not, then you could dispute it. Like, there's a website that you can go on. It's called the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and you can actually get assistance through them to do any type of disputes that you need help with. You know what I mean? So if you feel like something's on your credit report that's inaccurate or not right, you can go on there and get assistance with trying to get a hold of the company. Because, like, if you call the company, a lot of the times, somebody's overseas, it's in India, it's virtual assistants, whatever the case is. But if you actually file a dispute through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a valid one, you'll get the help.
Now, let me ask you this. I have a negative, I have something negative on my credit report, right? So it's a store card bill, and I paid it like maybe, I never got the bill in the mail, so I didn't realize it was past due. So it was only maybe like a week late that I paid it, but they still reported it.
A week
Because it was
late?
like, because it said it was 30 days, within 30 days late or whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. They shouldn't have reported it a week late, though.
They reported, like, I think immediately. If you're like a day late, they start. So I didn't realize it was late until they called me, and they were like, your bill is late. Because this number just kept calling me, like, over and over again. It was, like, ridiculous. And it's a card that I've had, never had late payments on it. I've had it since, like, 2000.
Okay.
So I feel a little bit like, come on, guys, it was like a week late. What's the big deal? But it's still on my credit report.
Yeah, they're not going to care, unfortunately. And that's where, the first thing I would say is definitely don't do the, opt into, like, electronic statements. That was the first thing, is always opt in for electronic statements instead of getting the ad. Because if you move, unfortunately, like, they're not going to forward you the statement. So definitely put it on electronic statement. And then I would say all store cards, always put them on auto pay. Because, if you have a store card and they're like, oh, you could, save 20%, 10% here, like, just put it on auto pay. And when you buy the clothes, you already know it's automatically going to be paid off. But being that you have a relationship with them, a lot of the times, and this is what people don't realize that they can use to their advantage, like how you have your online account, let's say Victoria's Secret, Community Bank, you log in your account, and you could actually send a message through there. So if you've been with them a year, 2 years, 20 years, whatever the case is, you could actually log in through your Community Bank. This works perfectly with store cards. You can log in, and you can say, hey, there's options in there that says, late payments, billing, statement issues. You can say, I moved, I didn't receive my statement. Can you please put my thing to electronic, but can you also do something about this late payment? Because I've been with you guys for 5, 10, 3 years, whatever the case is. And is there anything you could do with, 1, waiving the late fee, and also 2, removing the late payment from my credit report as a courtesy?
Right.
And if you do that with store cards, it works probably like
It's like
70%
one
of
late
the time.
payment in 20
Yeah,
years. I was
yeah.
like, come on, guys.
Yeah, so with that, don't waste the time calling. Don't waste the time disputing with the credit bureaus. Don't waste the time. Just literally log into your store card account and just submit it like as if you're sending an email to them, and somebody will respond usually within, I would say, like 24 to 48 hours.
Now there was also
This is where I will disagree with him. She should dispute it. The reason why is, so this is the reason why she should dispute it. So if in her credit card agreement it states that they won't report late payments until after 30 days, then she can dispute it. It is an error. It is sorry. Yeah, I apologize. It is inaccurate per the credit card agreement. So obviously, that's what I would do. I would advise her, all right, check your credit card agreement. If it says that after 30 days, that they won't report you to the credit report, then see if you can get them to get it removed. Or if that isn't working, put the dispute in, and then that will clear it up. But if that is in their credit card agreement, then yeah, I would say definitely do what he's saying. But to me, it definitely sounds like an error because I've never heard of no company reporting an account past due because of a week. So it's odd. That's very odd. But yes, I disagree with him on that.
I'm not sure if this is true. A rumor that if something's on your credit report after 10 years, it comes off. Is that true?
So it's actually
7 years.
7
yep.
years. So after 7 years, it comes off of your credit.
Yep.
Do you still have to pay it?
Depends on the statute of limitations for your state. So every state has a different statute of limitations.
So let's say I owe, I don't know, Restoration Hardware 10 grand.
Mhm.
After 7 years, do I have to pay that? Because it comes off your credit.
So
It can't come back on your credit.
So it's kind of like what I said when I came on. Oh, you might like it might be like 6 years statute of limitations.
On your credit for 20 years.
No, it'll come off your credit.
But
But
you
if you
still
got
gotta pay
sued, so if you did your due diligence as far as like disputing, checking everything what the case is, and it's not a valid debt anymore because it's past the statute of limitations, and they sue you, yeah, you're kind of like on
Credit, it's low. And they be like, I got to get it up. What's the fastest way to get it up?
So
I know you got a new house, you got furniture,
Alright, here
you're
we go,
buying.
here we
But
go.
come on, man.
So
Yeah.
what's the quickest way to get your credit up? You know, a lot of people are trying to buy a car and trying to buy a house, and when they
Yep.
run their credit, it's low. And they be like, I got to get it up. What's the fastest way to get it up?
So to be honest, man, the quickest way to get your credit score up is, you ever seen those white New Balances? You ever seen those white New Balances? All you gotta do is wear these white New Balances, and that's you put them on, and your credit score shoots up to like 850 automatically.
That's the old man. That's the white man. That's the old
Yeah.
white man sneakers.
That's the old mill. Yeah. So you wear those,
Bad
then it
joke,
automatically
yo.
goes up. But
That's
honestly, like
sarcasm.
to get your credit score up, you know, I always tell people you want to look at it because a lot of the things people say like, oh, my credit score.
He said, "Look at it, and then it can get, it can increase to wherever you want. All you gotta do is just look at it, and it's magically gonna appear."
Score is 800, right? Angela just said my credit score is 800.
803.
803. I'm sorry, 803.
What's mine, Jose?
Yours is about like 847. No, I'm so if you
It's not, Envy, you didn't pay your
It's over
restitution
8 though.
bill.
No,
it's
I'm
over 8.
eight.
No,
I'm
it's
over
over
8.
8. It's over 8.
It was over 8 anyway, but
So if you look at your credit report, right, and you say, all right, I have these credit cards and I am paying them on time and I'm paying off them in full, one of the biggest things that we get, man, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a celebrity, if it's a doctor, if it's a teacher, it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody always says I pay my bills on time and I always pay the balance in full. Well, the thing is they're paying it on the wrong date. And I think everybody is getting a little bit more accustomed to the statement date versus the due date. And I like it because you might have a credit card that's due on the 10th, but your statement date, let's say, is maybe the 28th of the previous month. That's when you want to pay your credit card bill. That's honestly the quickest way. Like I just helped a client a couple days ago. He was like, man, I'm trying to go for my mortgage. I just need a couple points. I said, all right, pay this card off, pay this card. Oh, I already paid it. I was like, yeah, but pay it off before the statement actually gets generated. Because that's when the balance actually gets reported to the credit bureaus is the statement date. You know what I mean? So the quickest way, honestly, is to pay off your credit cards.
That's true.
Hopefully in full if you can, before the statement date. The other thing is to make sure that if you do have anything negative, that you kind of use the tactic that I did before, especially with late payments. Even if your late payment is like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's an online portal in your account. Email.
Mine was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Email them, and you could do the portal. The portal access is the best way because the thing is less time they got to spend on the phone, the better it is. Or just use the CFPB. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is another website that you can use to get stuff off your credit, because the thing is, you could have 10 negative things on your credit report, right?
Or you can call the credit dude and he'll do it.
There you go. That was option
But I was
4.
gonna
Come on.
I was gonna ask you, I was
Four.
like, you giving all this information.
Don't call them. Call me. I got you.
Why would somebody call you when they could do it themselves?
So it's like reading the manual, right? Like when I was younger, I had a 1987
that's
Chrysler
for
LeBaron,
yeah.
right? And I bought a manual. I would want you to fix it on your own. Like, that's the thing, is I would want.
People who tell you, like Envy said earlier, to get
Okay, so wow, I almost forgot. He had really good conversations go. I almost forgot about how to increase your credit score. Okay, so the way that he addressed it, it's partially right. Wasn't like the best. I would say if you want to increase your credit score really fast, I would say if you have any collections or negative or charge-offs, and they were sold to a collection company, dispute them. Because if they didn't have the rights to it, then essentially it'll get erased. If they can't prove that you owe the debt with them, it'll get erased. If you have any inaccuracies, so let's see if you had fraud on your credit a couple of years ago, or something was reporting in error. If you dispute it, that's a really quick way to increase your credit. Paying down your revolving line. So if you owe a lot of credit card debt, by just paying it off, you would go ahead and increase your credit score. I wouldn't say quickly, because it depends on how much money you have. So if you have a lot of money to pay with, then you could increase your credit quickly because you have the money to pay down all your credit. I would say that's the only way. That is something that people have to realize. You can't increase your credit really, really quickly. You can't jump from like a 700 to an 800 really quickly. And Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, which are the credit bureaus, they're the ones that report. They're the ones that have your credit information. So if you ever log into Credit Karma or Credit Karma, which only shows you TransUnion and Equifax, you can see that information through there. But like, even on their websites, they state that it takes time for you to increase your credit. It's not something that's just magically going to happen. So if you do that, that will go ahead and help. Well, not help, but like, you just have to give it time in order to get from 700 to an 800. It's not something overnight. It takes years. And again, you can always Google this. They'll go ahead and tell you themselves, like, until they give us more information about the algorithm, we don't know how to increase our credit really fast. Another one I forgot to throw was being an authorized user for someone that doesn't carry almost any balance. Like, I'm talking about less than 10% of a balance on their credit cards. You could increase your credit as a credit card authorized user. But don't get confused. If you have a whole bunch of credit card authorized user, that does nothing for you. Because as underwriters, if we see on your credit you're only an authorized user, we're not going to approve you, because we know as authorized users, you don't pay the bill. So it's like, don't do that. I would say only do authorized user. The proper way to do an authorized user is by already having some credit yourself and then using the authorized user to inflate your number a lot more. So again, removing negative and inaccuracies on your credit report, paying down your credit cards, and then becoming an authorized user if you want to increase your credit score the fastest. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, we're going to go ahead and hop into the last video of the night here. Alright. This one I already kind of had my opinions on it. You know how it's been. Alright, let's see here. Let's drop it down to 720.
You can use to get a down payment, but it is a way to do it. The way to do it is called credit aid.
Sorry. So he's going to show you how to get money for down payment on a house. It's a secret, he says. Let's see.
Shelf Corporations. Now, Credit Age Shelf Corporations is basically a corporation that's already been aged and have all of the credibility, have already a good paydex score, which is a business credit score, and have all of the criteria that needed for you to get funding. Now, one of the biggest challenges with getting started in business, getting funding, getting down payment, anything is really your time in business. Now, your time in business can really hurt you in a lot of different areas because it builds the confidence of the lender, whether you have a lot of age in business or whether you don't. Now, if you don't have a lot of age in business, this product would be perfect for you because it basically puts you in front of the line in terms of getting the credibility that's needed to push yourself into funding. Now, business funding can be used for down payment. It can literally be used with anything, but in this case, we're going to use the business capital that you receive for your down payment. Is basically a no-brainer, guys. You want to put yourself in a position to leverage as fast in the best way possible. Now, the company that I want to talk to you guys about today is called Wholesale Shelf Corporations, and Wholesale is basically...
Why is it sounding like this is about to be an ad?
A company that nurture you throughout the entire process. So you come into the website, you pick which age corporation you want, and then basically they give you the corporation, you buy it, and then the next step would be you basically getting set up to build the corporation out. So the first thing you're going to get is the age automatically, and then they're going to build it out for you so you can get that paydex score, and then they also going to help you with your first round of funding. Now, that first round of funding can be used for the down payment, or it can be used for other things. Now, in this video, we want to talk about down payment funding because it is one of the hardest pieces of funding to get, especially when you want to get started. So yes, Age Shelf Corporations is going to be your best option for getting a down payment in this day and age, just because it is a way for you to leverage. Now, the way you leverage your business funding is not calculated, is not viewed or monitored on a very high level. And if you have a real estate business and you use it for real estate purposes, that's all fair square when it comes to how the system works. So yes, guys, this is going to be your best option. Now, what I want to do now is basically send you over to my computer screen to give you a detailed view on how Wholesale Shelf Corporations work. Guys, stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So yes, this...
Okay, so to me, it does look like he's...
This is the website and the company that I was telling you about that's going to give you everything that you need to get that down payment funding started. The name of the company is called Wholesale Shelf Corporations, and as you can see, they sell credit age corps for much less. Now, I don't know if you ever seen shelf corporations, but they can range between $2,000 to $3,000 for one. These guys are more than affordable, and it gives you everything that you need to be successful, not only in the down payment but in business funding as well. So let me give you guys a visual. So this is what the shelf...
All right, let me see what this price. So like he says, let's say if you buy this company, it costs $5,000 funding. So they're saying that you can use $100,000 of this funds as for down payment. God, that doesn't make sense. I was like, okay, so when it comes to using a loan, you can't use a unsecured loan as assets for closing costs reserved for a loan, because there's proof that it needs to show. Like, the only type of way that you can use money that is not yours, if it's gifted through you, or if it's been earned, or if you sold some type of property like a house, a car, an ATV, a motorcycle, stuff that you can sell to make pretty much money. Because this is what's gonna happen. So let's say if they gave you the $100,000 and it shows in your bank account, you have to show 2 months of bank statements when it comes to at least a purchase. When it's a refinance, it's at least 30 days. Within the 60 days, if we see a large deposit in there that's more than your income, because there's a certain threshold, we need to get a letter and explanation about this. So essentially, is we will try to track, okay, where this money came from. We need proof. If you're gonna say it comes from a business account, because essentially that's what he's trying to say, comes from a business account, then you transferred it on over to your account. Or if you didn't transfer it, you're gonna have to show us where this money came from. And if you can't show us where the money came from, you can't use the money. Like, it's that plain and simple. Like, if you can't show where you sourced, where the money came from, then you can't. And this is like on a technicality of it being fraud too. Just because there is a warning whenever you like finalize your loan, or I think when you maybe are approved and you get like your initial loan documents, there's a document from the FBI. Let me see, FBI mortgage fraud warning notice. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully it has it. Nope. We're just gonna go back. Go back. No. Let's go images. This right here, baby. Stop playing with your boy. Open image in the tab. Yeah, I need a better feel of this document. Oh, here it is. Mortgage fraud investigated by the FBI. Mortgage fraud is investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and is punishable up to 30 years in federal prison or a mill fine or both. Look at that. You can get both. Not just one or the other. You can get both. It is illegal for a person to falsify statements regarding income, assets, debt, or matter of identification, or willfully overvalue land or property in a loan and credit application for the purpose of influencing in any way the action of a financial institution. There it is. This could fall within this area because it sounds very gray. And with me approving for mortgage underwriting, when we're looking at loans either through FHA, VA, conventional, non-qualified mortgage, you need to be able to, if you can't show us where the money came from, we can't use it. That plain and simple. So this video is just a big thumbs down. Alright, well, you try to show you how to get some money. It might be illegal, so I wouldn't try it. So again, like, yeah, don't do this. Definitely, if you're gonna fall into this gray area of this, don't do it. Alright, well, like I said, I wanted to show you guys just one more thing before we go about lenders, so you can see how I found this this loan game pretty hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, but it's pretty interesting. You get to see it from a perspective that you're pretty much a loan officer yourself, or a shady loan shark, and you give people loans for people come in asking for loans. You try to pretty much take as much money from them as you can, and it's very interesting. I just have to show you. All right, we're gonna go. Our name is Credit Recovery. Let's get into it. You have mail. Let's see. All right. Hi there, Credit Recovery. Welcome to your first day of work at Shady Sam's. Your job is to make as much money as possible off the backs of hard-working Americans. How? By issuing loans that make us a hefty profit. Customers will come in with requests. You get their 3 loans of choices. Offer the one that will make the most money. Let's see. All right. This is an example of a loan card. So this pretty much is what we'll see. So you have the monthly payment, how long the loan is for, the interest rate, and then after each turn you can flip each card and see the loan components used to figure out how much maximize. So if we flip it, we'll see how much money they made. Good luck, kid, and don't mess up. Ooh, we're gonna try to make some money. Knock knock. Let's see, baby. Alright, we got Fred. We got good old Fred. Hey, Credit Recovery. Some bozo ran a stop sign and T-boned me. Yada yada yada. I need a new car. It's gonna be $18,500. Will you help me out? Well, alright. So remember, the most is to stick it to the hardworking Americans out here. So let's see. So this is essentially how like financial institutions, banks, credit unions aren't the only ones that also don't. They're not also they're trying to make money. That's their business with helping the community. All right. So let's see where they're gonna make the most money. Okay. So. Cool. I'm so sorry, guys. Alright, so let's see. So obviously, they're all the same term. Payments are fluctuating because of interest. So also, the interest is longest. So, bam. Look how much money we made. Look at that. So essentially, this is how lenders make their money. Said, okay, we're gonna give them 8.5%. And the payments will be for this for 4 years, and we'll end up making this much money by the end of it. So interesting. All right, let's see if in the next 10 minutes I can make it to 50,000. All right, let's see. Hi there, I need $2,000 for a new washer and dryer. I don't even like laundry, and now I have to spend all this money. Not in all cases. If you look at this situation, like, she may just have the money. Well, it's a possibility that she has the money, but is it probable the person has the money? That's the one thing. Because sometimes people just have the money, but they just rather finance it because they don't want to pay it right now. I really wish this gave me like more information so I could do it from an underwriter's perspective. But let's see. So to me, I'm just gonna assume that their credit, their income, and their relationship with the bank is amazing. So this is just pretty much what we're approving her for. All right, let's see. All right, so same interest rates, 24 months, $85. So obviously this is gonna be the best option. Bam, we made 125. Dang. Let's go, baby. Let's get to this 50K. As you can see, the job is pretty simple. People only pay attention to the monthly payment. This is exactly the same thing that dealerships do. They see you only care about the monthly payments so that they can mess with the interest rate in the term and maximize their profits. This is why monthly payment should not be the only thing you care about when you get a loan. He's telling you here right now. Holy cow, how did I just hire a prodigy? You're nailing it. That's how I do. I'm an underwriter, baby. It's what I do. Alright, so let's see. Let me get that. Yeah, you see that right there. It's beautiful. What do you want? Let's go, baby. No offense, but hopefully I'll never be seeing you again. Here's the last of your money. Okay, bye. Wait. Hey now, don't forget my early payoff fee. Thanks. I'm sure we'll cross paths again. See, if it's in the loan terms, this is why you gotta read your loan terms. Because, hey, watch this be the right answer. Bam. Why? Because it's all about making money. So if you're not reading the loan terms and know that there's a payoff fee at the end, kind of played yourself. Alright, let's see here. The initial loan isn't our only chance to make money. We can hide all kinds of good stuff in contracts, payoff, late fees, all the fees, and nobody pays attention until it's too late. Isn't that great? That's a good pun. late fees. Yeah. It's a good day to be a shark. Yeah, you don't really see this a lot with like lenders, but it does happen to most people like this. But yeah, let's see. Hey, credit recovery. My paycheck doesn't clear till Friday, but I've got rent to pay tomorrow. Can I borrow $345? Time me over? Ooh, this already screams financial problem. This tells me that this guy is not financially. He's not in financial great shape. It tells me his DTI is most likely really high. Tells me if he does have credit cards, they're most likely maxed out, really low credit score, doesn't make maybe a lot of money, and if he does make a lot of money, he doesn't know how to manage his money a lot. So honestly, I would really decline this guy, but there's no decline. Let's see, 55 for 2 weeks. Come on, 55 for 2 weeks. Come on, it's not easy. Damn. Hopefully I make it to 50 grand. Dude. Like, come on, give me something big. Stop playing with me. Well, look at, we found here a payday loan opportunity. These poor folks are living paycheck to paycheck with no other choices but go to old Shady Sam, and you can get them to agree to basically anything. That's really true. You can get them, and also they know this is them. Instead of just waiting and just taking a late hit, instead of taking out a payday check, like, why do that? Why do that? You'll end up paying a lot more money down the road. And get this, since it's such a small amount in a short term, we'll charge a fee instead of interest. The best part, if you do the math, this measly fee can be something like 700% interest rate. Good thing nobody does the math except us. See, that $55, it wasn't a lot to the person, but to Shady Sam, he made 700% interest rate on the money he let borrow. It's crazy. Oh. Cha-ching. Sometimes it be like this. Come on, baby. Alright, let's see. We got Elaine. I need to borrow $1,250 for a new water heater. I can't breathe. I can't bear to take another cold shower. It's the wrong way to start your day. Alright, let's see what she got for here. Alright, so also we want to put her in the longest term as possible. We want to give her the highest interest rate as possible. Alright, so let's see. So also this won't really be really long. The middle one won't be really long. So 18 months is the longest, is 5.5. This 12 months is going to be the best option. Oh shit! Don't tell nobody. Alright, let's go, baby. My son has a cerebral, I don't even know what that is, and I need 27,000. This is what we've been waiting for. Oh, he's paralyzed. Has cerebral palsy, and I need to buy a wheelchair. Goddamn, 27,900. Are you kidding me? Ugh. At 7%, so this extends it for another 2 years, but lower interest rate. I think it's gonna be this one. Oh, what? Oh, at 6%. Oh, 6%. Okay. Well, wait. Whoa. Again, if you do the math, you'll find it. I'm pretty much guessing at this. Alright, well, it wasn't really too far off. Alright, I got 4 minutes. I don't know if I'm making it 50 grand. Let's see. Alright, you're doing great, kid. Keep up the hard work. You might have your own loan business someday. You don't want to make that possible for me. Alright, I'm going to need some pens to try to calculate this interest. She is crying Sade. I'm pursuing my passion and I've decided to go to nursing school. May I borrow $56,000? Alright. God damn. Oh, we'll make the most money here. Come on, it's a no-brainer right there. 40,000. Yeah, okay. You saw it? Making hella money. Let go. Alright, let's see what the lesson was here. Interesting. So for only 15 years, they were going to make $14,000. By doubling it, they made double the money. Wow. It's crazy. Come on, I'm not that off. Let's go, baby. Let's get into the... Okay. Student loans are one of the most profitable in the country right now. I guess it's very trendy to have student debt. See, this is why I don't get student loan debt. Get a load of this. Then these numbers, 44 million, 44.2 million Americans have student loan debt, 1.48 trillion in total U.S. loan debt, an average monthly payment of $351. I don't know about you, but those are some pretty numbers for us. That's just his 2 cents. Management record. P.S. You can learn more about the real cost of college through Payback. Interesting. Alright, come on, 2 more minutes. Let's get this money. Credit recovery. I'm drowning in medical bills right now, and my monthly payment is killing me. Is it possible to lower it? Oh, sorry, my hands are tied by the contract you signed. Hope your son is doing well. Sure, we'll extend the term. We're gonna make so much money right here. Oh, you see this number? I made that 50 grand. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Look at that. Just 1 minute under. That's crazy. I really didn't think. Yo, I'm so happy she came in. Yo, just to let you know, if you want to start a loan business with you, I know how to make you money. Alright, guys. Thank you very much for entertaining this last part. I did promise a credit tip of the day. So if you made it to the end of the video, payment history is the longest, it is the highest factor for your credit score. So if you're paying your loans on time, great. If you're new to credit or don't know much about credit and you missed payments, now you know. Again, if you need some help with your credit, go ahead and contact me. If you found this video very fun and entertaining, definitely like, share, subscribe, and hit the ring notification. It's going to be very important because I have a lot more videos coming through. And see you guys on the next one.